These are, in my opinion, the best banana perfumes that you can get right now, and the most affordable, I would say, too. A couple are going to be new, a couple have been around for a while, but I bet there's going to be at least two that you've never heard of before. So here's how I'm going to structure this. I'm going to give you each fragrance notes, and then I'm going to give you my review, and then I'm going to do something like a review roundup. So I'm going to go to like Fragrantica, Sephora, Ulta, all the places that I can find reviews, the brand's website, stuff like that. And I'm going to see the overall consensus of the reviews that are out there. Because I don't know about you, but when I am done collecting all of my recommendations from all the review channels, I go onto these sites and I look up the reviews. All right. So all that being said, let's get into this. So if you see me looking down, it's because I have all my notes here for all of the notes and the reviews and all the things. There's just no way that I was going to be able to remember all of this. There's just no way. So starting off with a bang, and by a bang, I mean a perfume that literally doesn't have a banana note in it. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Here's the thing. Okay, this will make sense in the end. I promise. All right, so we're going to start off with Golden Gusto Odyssey. The notes on this are going to be baked apple, cinnamon, lemon, lemon, butter, caramel, ylang ylang, sandalwood, tonka bean, and vanilla. So yes, there's no banana on there. I have the little sample here, and it still comes off the same way to me. The first time I tried this could be because I had just finished having breakfast, but I swear this smells like banana pancakes, okay, with a little bit of cinnamon in there, served with maple syrup. All right, that's what I had for breakfast. And usually how I make mine is that I mash the bananas. I mash a good amount of bananas in there. So I'll do like 2 bananas to half a cup of pancake mix. And because the bananas are mashed, when you're cooking them, it does like this caramelized thing to the sugars of the banana. So it comes out so good. And you serve it with maple syrup and it's delicious. I also throw in cinnamon in there. So that's why I think I'm getting the cinnamon notes. But here's another thing about when you are cooking banana on the frying pan, in the oven, whatever, what have you, it is going to give you that same kind of tangy, almost sour quality that you get when you cook an apple. So when you bake an apple in the oven, when it's like apple pies and stuff like that, it does have that same kind of tangy sourness. So I think that's why I read it that way. But also, I got to be honest, I don't really like apple in a lot of sense. And I just got no apple in this whatsoever. I strictly got banana pancakes. Like I just don't know any other way to explain it. I got banana pancakes and I genuinely believe that other people will get the same thing. I just don't get the baked apple. I just don't get it. In the overall reviews for it, I have that this one is polarizing. There's not a ton of reviews out there, but for the ones that there are, some think that this is mouthwatering and sweet, but not overly sweet. Some think it's comforting and delicious. Others think it's waxy and they don't like the burnt caramel quality to it. It turns them off. And there were a few people that said that this went a little sour, a little synthetic, almost medicinal, some people were saying. I didn't get that from there. I don't know what the medicinal thing would be. I genuinely don't know. Maybe the lemon turns it into something a little bit more bitter. I really am not sure. I did not get any kind of medicinal quality from this, so I really don't know where that's coming from, but people mentioned it, so I figured I'd mention it. So the overall consensus that I get from this is that this is really not blind buy safe. And there is something tangy and sour to it on the dry down that a lot of people may not like. I think that this is, somebody mentioned, what's that? There's a really popular perfume that was being duped to the hills for a while. I can't remember what the name of it is, but it was kind of like that baked apple, cinnamon, gourmandy kind of deal. I don't know. If I can remember it, I'll pop it in here. But I think that's the vibe that they were going for. Like I said, I don't get the apple, but I don't get the medicinal quality either. So I'm not sure. The overall thing I would say is that this isn't blind buy safe. But luckily, the website that I get it from had sample sizes. So you can get the sample size and decide whether you like it or not. Also, I'll link it down below. It's not going to be an affiliate link, but I just figured I'd make it easier for y'all to find. because it's not a readily available perfume. It is from a Thai fragrance house, I believe, and it's not in like Sephora or anything like that. So next I want to do two in one. So it's going to be Daisy Wild and Daisy Wild So Intense from Marc Jacob. And I kind of want to do these together because they basically are doing the same thing. Now, for both of these, I went back to the store because I always meant to get a fuller bottle of this, but I kept forgetting, to be honest with you. I'm pretty new to like the fragrance world and like trying all these things. I didn't know that there were so many brands, so many niche, so many indie, so just so much. I just had no idea. So I want to say it was last year or the year before, like the tail end of maybe 2024 and then all of 2025, was introduced to this whole new world and I just was sampling everything. I just went a little crazy and I kept finding all these beautiful new perfumes and scent profiles and all these things. So I got my nose on Daisy Wild and I loved it and I meant to get a bottle, but then I started sampling all these other things. And the thing about me is that I am not made of money. So I put money aside when I'm going to get samples and perfumes and things like that. I really try to plan for it. And I kept intending to get Daisy Wild, and then other things would kind of catch my attention. It was just like, ooh, shiny thing, squirrel. And I just kept forgetting. And then when I would remember, I'd be like, oh, do I want to get that? It's like so readily available. Or do I want to get this new thing that I found that's like a little bit less known or whatever, what have you. The new thing always won out. But I do, you know what? Spring is coming. Oh, it is so good. Yeah. So the point of that whole spiel was just to let you know that I went into the store to compare these two. Again, I don't have the full size bottle, although I would recommend Daisy Wild. I don't have the full size bottle because I kept getting distracted by all these other scents. But when I went into the store, it was actually kind of good because when I went in, I was able to compare them side by side, and they do give different vibes. But anyway, let's get into the notes. Of Daisy Wild are going to be banana flower, jasmine, macadamia, vetiver, and sandalwood. And then my thoughts on this one is that it is like a fuller banana. It's not like a Laffy Taffy candy kind of banana. It's more realistic to me. It's brighter. It's very fresh. The green in there kind of like, I don't know what the green notes are. I guess that would be like the vetiver because that's some kind of grass, right? That green I find really grounds the fragrance. It gives it like a weight. And then the banana, when I tried it, it was almost like a banana rind. That was the image that came to my mind. It was like a banana rind. And I remember being in the store and thinking, before I even like looked up the notes again, I was thinking in my head, like there's almost something nutty in the background. Like overall, the vibe of this is like, it is sweet, it is banana, but it feels more grounded compared to Daisy Wild So Intense. So Daisy Wild So Intense, the notes are going to be banana flower, jasmine, amber, and sandalwood. And this one to me is super duper sweet. It is like the ripest of ripe bananas, but it is also, it's a little bit Laffy Taffy, like a little bit. And it may just be because the sweetness is so intense that it veers off into that direction. But I did get a little bit of the Laffy Taffy. But it's also like super bright, super fresh, slightly green, but way more sugary. It's just way more sugary than the original. And then the overall sentiment among like the reviewers was that it's a sweet, fresh scent with a little bit of green, unique kind of banana without being too artificial. Some of the complaints was that it faded too quickly, and some people thought it was just way too sweet. The sweetness level for a lot of people was like the contention between both of these scents. Like some people thought, So Intense was just like over the top sweet. Some people thought that Wild was just, too sweet. They didn't even try the Intense because they were like, this is already too sweet. For Daisy Wild Intense, I saw someone talk about smelling chocolate. I didn't get a chocolate note whatsoever in there. With Daisy Wild Intense, it gave people headaches because the sweetness it was too intense. But for the most part, I think the reviews kind of agree with me. The Daisy Wild So Intense is very sweet. It's, young to the point of almost being juvenile, not in a bad way, but just like it is just very sweet. It's something that you would expect to smell on like a teenager or like someone like just turned 20. I mean, you can be any age to wear these, obviously, but it just gives off that vibe of someone like super young. And then for Daisy Wild, like I said, there's that green element that grounds it that I think it just makes it a little bit more adult. And that's in comparison to each other. These are both super sweet. Like they're both super young feeling. They're both super fresh. Like make no mistake, compare either one of these to any other fragrance and they're both going to feel kind of young. But I mean, when I say that one feels more adult than the other, I mean in comparison to each other. That's kind of why I wanted to do this together or do the reviews together because they really are, I mean, different sides of the same coin. It's just, do you want to go a little bit more youthful or do you want to give off a little bit more complex, a little bit more adult? Okay, so now we're going to go on to Maui in a Bottle from Kayali. So this one, the notes are going to be banana, pear, coconut, jasmine, sandalwood, and vanilla. Okay, so this one I'm a little on the fence about adding in here. I'm only adding it because I think the quality that I don't like about it, I think a lot of other people do like about it. You'll understand what I mean in a second. So, my thoughts on it is that it is a ripe banana. It gives you like a marshmallowy, suntan lotiony kind of vibe with like some coconut flakes, not coconut milk, not coconut cream, like coconut flakes. I don't know if you've ever had coconut flakes, but it's just there's like a dry quality to the coconut. I don't know how else to explain it except to say coconut flakes. But here's my problem with it is that for me, the banana disappeared. And on the dry down, it goes into like this lotion kind of skin scent that I don't know. I can find that in so many other fragrances that it's like, I really want the banana and I'm not getting the banana. The banana is disappearing on me. This wasn't everybody's experience. So the overall reviews on this was that for most people, this was giving way more tropical vibes than I got. They went back and forth about the sweetness, but for the most part, people felt like this was the perfect combination of sweet and fresh that they felt it was really good for hot days. Which, on like super hot days, especially if it's like humid or muggy or something, the last thing you want is like a super duper sweet that doesn't get cut with any kind of freshness because then you just get like a cloying headache mess. So for the most part, people felt like this was a good combination of the sweet balanced with the fresh so that you could wear it on super hot days. Let's see. A complaint was that the banana just did not last for people. So that was the same experience that I had. Another thing I saw was sorry. I just don't know where this comes from, but I guess I like white florals because anytime I hear people complaining about white florals and then I see the scent or I experience the scent, I never get the thing that they're getting. But for this one, the white florals or the jasmine in here, a lot of people found to be or not a lot of people, but some people found to be too strong and it gave off a pea smell. I've never experienced that in any white floral. I've heard of that before, of people having that experience. I've just never experienced it. So apparently the jasmine in here, the white floral is just too strong. I think the white floral is what gives it that kind of like lotiony kind of quality. So maybe for me, it comes off as like a lotion skincare type of scent. And for other people, I guess it comes off as a pea smell, which I would imagine, yes, that's not appealing. But overall, people do seem to like the scent. If you like something that initially gives you that blast of like banana, tropical, just beautiful, yummy, but then dries down to something a little bit more subtle, a little bit closer to the skin, almost like a my skin but better type of deal, then you'll love this because that's exactly what it does. And unfortunately, that's the quality I don't like. I don't know if it's just I don't like how it sits on my skin because I like a my skin but better scent, but I just didn't like the way this dried down on me. I loved the beginning. I just didn't like the dry down. But if it works for you, it works for you. Okay, so the next one is going to be another fragrance from Odyssey. If you haven't guessed it, it's the Odyssey fragrances that I don't think that people have heard of because I don't think that I've seen any reviews on it. I didn't actually go looking. I should have looked to see if anybody else has done videos on these. I watch like a couple of people and they normally like if there's something that everybody's talking about, they'll normally review it. I just never see anybody talking about these Thai brands. Odyssey is a new brand to the website that I use. So the website that I go to is Glindy Fragrances and they carry a lot of the Thai um oh, I didn't check to see if Odyssey is a Thai fragrance house. I believe that it is. And I mean, I've tried quite a few from them. They're going to be, I don't want to say heavily featured, but I mean, they're going to be in there in a lot of the upcoming videos that I'm going to do. I don't know why nobody's talking about them. It may just be because they're not so readily available. And this is such a specific website that I found on chance. All right, but let's get into the fragrance. So it's going to be this review is going to be for Bananilla. I don't know if it's Bananilla or Bananilla because I see the two L's and I want to do the ja. I don't speak Spanish, but like I understand when my parents talk and when my family speaks, and I just when I see the double L's, I always think ja. Okay, so Bananilla. Oh, it's so good. All right, it's warm banana cream with like a hint of something like buttery, like a pie crust. Oh, I forgot to give the notes. The notes for this are chocolate, banana, jasmine, whipped cream, caramel, ambrette, vanilla, and sugar. I don't know that I get the chocolate. Hmm. I don't know that I get the chocolate, but also, I don't know. A lot of these brands, they have chocolate in the notes and it's supposed to be chocolate, but it always ends up coming to off to me like a Tootsie Roll type of thing. So if that's in here, maybe it's in there. I just don't smell it. I get something like buttery, pie crusty, ripe banana. I get a little bit of cinnamon in here, but I guess like what you would get in like a graham cracker, like that kind of, is that cinnamon? I think graham crackers have cinnamon in them, right? I don't know, but that's the vibe that I'm getting. And then it dries down to like a caramelized banana with almost like a lotiony skincare element to it. So, which sounds kind of the same as the Kayali, except this one, the banana doesn't disappear. So I think that's why I prefer this one. And also, this is not tropical at all. This is very much like warm gourmand banana. In fact, this actually reminds me if you've ever had the banana pudding cups, it's from Walmart. It's in the bakery section. I believe it's called banana pudding. And it's got layers. So it's got like the cream, it's got the banana thing, it's got like this little wafer thing on top. It's delicious. I mean, the calories are out of hand. Okay. But it tastes so good. And the way that that tastes is how this smells. Yeah, it's very much. It's very relaxing. I find it like very mellow and cozy. Delish. I love it. I love it. I definitely, oh, I think I will be getting a full bottle of this one because these are new to me, these Odyssey ones. I mean, Odyssey, the brand, I think has been on the website for a while, but I just got these samples like a couple of weeks ago. Oh, they're both so good. I'm just knocking everything over. Right. So there wasn't a ton of reviews on this one, but from the reviews that there were, the lasting power of this is interesting because it lasts so long and because that banana sweetness does not go away. For some people, it just came off too cloying. It was just like too overwhelming for them to like consistently and continually have to smell that sweet banana. But then obviously if you really like the scent like me, then that's going to be perfect because that's the element that I was missing from the Kayali one. Someone also mentioned that the dry down turned into something musky that just didn't work on their skin. So that's going to be a personal thing. Like I said, for these Odysseys, I'm going to leave links down below to where you can get a sample of it and try it first. And also the same place that you can buy a full bottle is where you can get the sample. It's from the same website. And I have ordered from this website multiple times. I probably I want to say like 5 or 6. No, it has to be more. I've gotten 2 full bottles of perfume from them, and then I've sampled from them. It has to be at least 5 times now. So probably that's what, like 7 orders. And I've never had an issue. Never had an issue at all. I mean, that's not a guarantee that you won't have an issue. I'm not making any claims. I don't want to get sued. But okay, I have no liability in this. And I am not affiliated with the website or the brand or anything in any way. It's just It's just the only place that I know to get the perfume, and I've used the website and I haven't had a bad experience. So I'm just passing that along in case someone's like, oh, I've never heard of this. Because the first time I found it, I was a little bit iffy on it because it's like, I've not heard of these perfumes. I've not heard of this website, but I haven't had any problems. So that will be available down below if you are interested. So the last banana fragrance I want to mention is Banana Milkshake from Ellis, Brooklyn. Notes on that are going to be banana, milk, melon, papaya, strawberry, apricot, vanilla orchid, vanilla, ice cream, tonka bean, rum, and wood barrel. I wish I would have made a note for it. Let me see if I can find. Oh no, you know what? Because every time I look at Fragrantica on my laptop, it always makes my laptop like freeze or like go weird. I have an old laptop, and I am going to keep using this thing until it is worn down into the ground. So, but I can't look up. Well, I can look up Fragrantica, but it'll. I don't know that it does something. I don't know the technologies things. Okay, I don't know how these things work. But every time I go on Fragrantica on my laptop, I notice that it starts to like go slow, like the web page stops responding, and then I have to wait for it to unfreeze, and then it'll freeze, then I have to wait for it to unfreeze. Like it's a whole thing. It only happens when I go on Fragrantica. It's really annoying. So I was gonna look at it, and the only reason I was gonna look at it is because the wood barrel thing. Sometimes these notes on Fragrantica just like send me through the roof because I'm like, wood barrel, what do you mean? But I remember when I was reading the reviews, somebody had mentioned that the notes were wrong and it wasn't wood barrel. It was like something very specific, but I cannot remember what it was. But we're just going to go with wood barrel. So anyway, I put this in because, okay, two things. This one is giving very much Laffy Taffy artificial banana. Okay. But I just don't care. Sometimes you're in the mood for that. Like sometimes you're just in the mood for that. It's so good. Oh, it's so good. You know what it is? It's because it's so fresh. Oh, it like went right up my nose. I should have been more careful with that. Okay, so here's the thing. Yes, it's hair mist, it's body mist. Like they all tend to be like fresh and light and whatever. But this one's interesting because it goes into like a very like tropical direction. It reminds me of this one, the St. Bart's from Way. So, and St. Bart's from Way, like this is very coconut forward. Like it's very coconut, it's very creamy, tropical type of thing, like almost like a pina colada. So you would think like they'd have nothing in common, but this kind of goes into that kind of colada realm. When you first spray it, it does give you a burst of Laffy Taffy banana. And then you get a mix of like all of the fruits. And I think that brings in like the tropical vibe. It's a slightly creamy. It's not like super creamy, but it's slightly creamy. I don't know about the milkshake part. I know in the overall reviews, people were saying that it was very creamy. It was giving milkshake, vanilla milkshake. I don't get that from this. I really do get like the tropical, like more fruity kind of vibe from it. I do get a little creaminess, but it's not enough for me to think milkshake. It's just not. So overall, people like it. I mean, these body mists, I think they're always going to be kind of mass appealing, but overall people like it. The only complaint that people had really was that the banana didn't really last. Some people didn't get banana at all. Like they sprayed it, they didn't get any banana. And then what was the other thing? And then there were a few people that got a plasticky smell on the dry down. So watch out for that. If that's something that you think might irritate you, I would just go try it first instead of like, just adding it to cart. That is going to be it for me. I hope you found this review helpful. If you did, don't forget to give this video a like. And if you really want to help me out, press all the buttons. Okay. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification. I am going to be doing more perfume reviews. I don't know if I'm solely going to be doing perfume reviews. I don't know if it's just going to be a pure fragrance channel, but definitely the first, I want to say like 10 videos I have planned and coming up are going to be fragrance reviews. But there's other stuff that I want to dive into too. So we'll see where this goes. I'm not really sure. If you want to come along for the ride, you are more than welcome. Other than that, I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you and goodbye.